Hi, friends. Hope they're here. I was talking to French people. I'm supposed to be doing a project I'm working on right now, but I don't want it, or I can't. I'm not sure. I'm making a Mother's Day thing. I got all the pictures put in the program, the video program, but I have to record narration for it, and I don't know what to say. It's like an FI thing, I guess. I feel troubled by this, by the prospect of trying to express anything about this subject, really. It's like, how can I do justice to this subject? I can't. Of course, I put off. I have a deadline of tomorrow because it's Mother's Day, and of course, I put it off to the day before the deadline because I'm an idiot, or I'm just not te smart. Uh, Now I'm not really feeling it, but it's got to get done. So I'm live streaming instead, hoping to get motivated to do it again by the internet peoples. Internet peoples, come to my rescue. You guys know that Ghost Rider, you're no, I haven't been able to see her. No one else here since the COVID shit started. I mean, like, they don't let you go anywhere near that nursing home now. Basically, it's like a nuclear weapons facility. It's got such tight security. Well, I'm sure she's fine. They do call us periodically. They play cover your ass all the time. So it's like anytime the slightest bruise or a little scrape gets on my mom, they call us. Um, they could, but of course, my mom is not verbal anymore. She doesn't speak words, and she doesn't understand what you're saying, and she doesn't really pay attention to you. A little bit. She'll notice you, and she'll be aware that you're there. But I mean, that's one of the things I'm trying to get across in this video is that my mom was once a very vibrant, happy, alive, in some ways powerful person. Successful professional. Well, see, this is the thing, and that's where I'm getting with this Ghost Rider. Successful professional, a department chair, English department chair at San Marino High School. Had lots of side gigs too, kept busy, and also an ISFJ. Loved to garden, loved to watch the Dodgers, loved to take a bath and go to bed early and stuff like that. So the thing is, it was probably 10 years ago that my mom started getting dementia. She's now 82 or 83. It's probably her early 70s when she started displaying some symptoms of it. My dad says that he wasn't the one who noticed it. It was Aunt Evelyn. Aunt Evelyn said, I think something going on with Jane, when my dad and Aunt Evelyn and my mom and Uncle Lonnie went to Hawaii, which was probably about 8 years ago or something. And the thing is, my dad's very susceptible to slow boil and bipolar. Because she's gotten worse gradually, very slowly. My dad was sort of in this weird bipolar haze that, she's a little slowed down a little, but she's still same old Jane, when she clearly wasn't. But the point is, I learned that she had dementia about 5 or 6 years ago. It was not that long after there was this breakfast that I had with my mom and my dad where I got really mad at my mom because she was being like super irrational. I was like, but mom, Well, of course, she was in this phase of dementia where she was just consumed by irrational fear of anything new, different, or unfamiliar. And after that, my dad told me there's something going on with her. She has dementia. Even then, he still didn't get her diagnosed. He didn't have her diagnosed at that point, I don't think. So no, she didn't lose her verbal capabilities quickly. I found this past summer, behind some stuff in the house, a book, like a journal of my mom's almost, or something, where she had written down in there a list of words she was forgetting frequently. It was like early in the dementia process, and she was metacognating about it. That was probably about 10 years ago, because she was still working at the time. So no, she didn't lose her verbal abilities quickly. In fact, but yes, she did also, because it's amazing. There's a video from like 3 years ago, a little less than that, with me and Kimberly driving my parents to the airport. And at that point, maybe 2 years ago even, my mom still had the ability to tell a complete story in the car, where she told the story of the scorpions in Arizona, which is an old story of hers she's told many times. And she got through a pretty, it was clear to me that she's affected, but if you didn't know her at all, you might think she was just kind of a slowing down old lady telling a story. And at least it made perfect sense. And, well, within a year of that, she can't speak at all, basically. So it's been a very slow decline verbally, and then a precipitous decline over the last 6 months or so. She's also had a precipitous physical decline over the last 6 months ago or so, because she's fallen a couple of times. And it's like, as you get more deeper into dementia, it becomes clear that you lose your normal perceptual capabilities. Like, just regular walking would scare her. Like, it would seem as though maybe the floor appeared really far away to her or something. I don't know. It's hard to understand why she was like that, but how long do they think she has? This is the problem. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, and there is no timetable, really. It's just they can last a long time. It's not exactly dementia that kills them. It's when your brain stops working well enough, it stops doing when it really stops working, it stops maintaining all the autonomic stuff that we have, that your body naturally maintains things without you thinking about them explicitly. And people end up organ failure and stuff. But yeah, but we have no idea. I predicted that. I predicted before that I think she has till about August, that she's going to die in August. Is that true? I don't know. Hard to say. But the reality that I got to deal with is that my mom's been gone for a long time. My real mom has been gone for a long time. And yet my mom's still here and still capable of experiencing pain, suffering, and or the absence thereof, is either more or less content, and deserves to have contentment and comfort maximized and pain and suffering minimized. And of course, the family here is in limbo. Mom's gone, but she's not gone. Mom's gone, but she's not. She's still a big expense. Mom's gone, but she's still a responsibility. Mom's gone, but she's still there physically. And in some sense, she's still the same person she always was. It's just a very tiny sense of it, So it's a complicated bag of feelings. And I think that it's why I'm having so much trouble doing this narration on this thing. Obviously, I love my mom a lot. She was a great mom. She loved the living hell out of me. And she was a really good mom. Just like really good caregiver. She was also my dual. I felt very appreciated for who I was growing up. My mom would chat with me in the family room and laugh at my jokes and tell me how funny and smart I was and stuff like that. So what do you say on a Mother's Day 2020? You know, to a person who's not going to understand what you're saying. I mean, I know going in, I'm making this as a Mother's Day video, but it's really for myself and the audience more than it is for her. It's about her more than it is to her. Hi, Michael Floyd. How's your box swimming going? This is Paris OG. The other thing is, my mom had quite an adventurous life for an ISFJ, especially. I think you'd say when she graduated from Berkeley, she signed on with this program for new teachers to teach on military bases. Sent to Europe. That's where she met my dad. She was teaching on the military base there, and when she started dating my dad, she'd travel all around Europe with him as he was in the army band. They'd go on fairly frequent jaunts around. I guess their work schedule allowed it. I don't know. But my dad also raced cars. He was a Mini Cooper racer. And he was on the Ford team at Le Mans during the year when they did that Ford versus Ferrari movie. He was on that team in that year. He knew that BB guy. Or whatever his name was in the movie, I forgot. The guy who was the bad Chrysler executive, or the bad Ford executive, the bad guy executive, right? He liked that guy a lot. My dad liked that guy. Anyway, my mom, they gave all the women makeup compasses. No, wait, compacts. That's what they're called. Makeup compacts. They say Le Mans 1966 on them. We have it around here somewhere. It's like, wow. And when they were doing that, they were camping nearby, like on a beach, and eating sea rations, which are military rations that are, I guess, it's like what they now call ready to eat or something like that. And she held off having a kid. My parents both held off having a kid until they were 35, which is because I guess they decided they were done playing around. Like, it's like, in other words, all right, I guess we can settle enough now to have a kid. But they didn't really settle at all. They continued going all over the place, doing all kinds of things. They just brought me with them everywhere, and that's great. in retrospect, it was great. At the time, I didn't like it, frankly. I grew to fucking hate traveling by the time my childhood was over. As soon as I got old enough, whenever my dad was like, "Well, we're gonna go to mom for this time, son," I'd be like, "Can you just please leave me home? Do I have to go with you?" Yeah, but that's just a kid, right? It's like first world problems, the ultimate first world problems. And right now, I got a first world problem. For whatever reason, this live stream is only attracting a small number of people. I think I'm not sure why, but YouTube's trying to work some shit out right now. And an earlier video of mine, the poop one, that I pooped before this live stream, it got manually reviewed. It's limited to 18 and over, and it says it got manually reviewed. That it's definitely it should be only 18 and over. Okay, well, fine, but why that one of all ones? Because I was cleaning my bong stem with a torch, maybe. It's like I'm not sure YouTube knows what they want to do right now. I think they're a little bit like, what's the freaking standard here again? But they're making a good effort. Hey, Cloud, how you doing? Did you see my video? You inspired me to make a video about that topic, Cloud. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I do a good job of explaining where the sort of frame misconceptions are about it. Okay, well, you might not like it. It might not be worth your time. It's kind of TI heavy. I mean, I find it a little dull when I watch it, but I did put some visual aids and stuff in there, which helped make it a little bit more interesting to watch, I think, or helped keep the attention a little bit more. When I was just listening to it, I was like, it's too much TI. Yeah, I get bored with the dense, dry things. But you've got to address that topic. It's unavoidable. You're gonna have to be doing some serious TI work to address the topic. You can't just play around with it. You can't just go FENI it and expect to accomplish anything. So, hi, Curious Kyra. I'm gonna guess your emotion that you're experiencing right now is curiosity. Am I right? Are you a TI user? Are you TI 1 or 2? TI 1, 2 will like TI stuff because it's like, okay, finally somebody's saying something purposeful here and going fast enough. I can both process this and appreciate processing it. But also, TI 3rd might like it. INFJs might like it, but you'll have to slow it down or watch it twice. I'm coming to respect more wholly the responsibility I have to speak in ways that maximize others' understandings, sometimes over precision. Listening to you speak of AI feels like drinking pee. Oh. Well, here's the thing, Cloud. To determine whether or not A is beyond my comprehension, you'd have to watch that video, the whole video, and try to understand the whole thing. And so you'd understand what my level of comprehension is, and then you can judge my comprehension. But you're trying to avoid comprehending my level of comprehension and just passing judgment on it. This is a pipe. This is a pipe. This is a pipe. Poop, 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 pipe. Well, that's fine. I'm not asking you to watch it at all. I'm just saying that obviously you can't make any claims about my level of comprehension unless you do watch it. Or at least you can't. If you do make claims about my level of comprehension without watching it, then you just it tends to make you into a bit of an object of ridicule because it's like you're not doing the basic legwork. All right, let's test my comprehension. About what? Why do I think that Elon Musk, who works on this stuff for decades, is wrong? You mean about AI? To be perfectly honest, I don't know what Elon Musk thinks about it. It's just a provocative title. What I'm really saying is, I guess, Cloud doesn't understand AI at all. And for anyone to properly understand AI, we need to start thinking about it. We need to start thinking of these salient questions that will allow us to understand it. I have no idea what Elon Musk thinks about it, frankly, and don't care. Is he right or wrong? I don't know. It's a provocative title, so that's why I used it. Made a good thumbnail. Will that work to get it more views? I don't know. I'm not sure how many people want to watch a video about that. No, I'm telling you, I don't have any opinion about Elon Musk's opinion because I don't know what it is. That's not refusing to make an opening statement. That's just admitting I don't know what Elon Musk's position about it is. I just know what you said. Regardless, Cloud, there are plenty of instances where experts are totally wrong and I'm right. History proves me right, and everybody else was wrong after all. I cover that in the video, Cloud. I talk about the different modalities in which chips could interface with the internet or the cloud and be also implanted in your brain. This is why I made a video discussing that it could interface in multiple different ways. It could, for example, put information on your behalf, be an agent. It could get information for you at your behest, like, say, Googling something, but without having to use your fingers or your mouth. Or it could send information to your brain. You understand what I'm saying? That your input-output is actually a too reductive a deconstruction for the architecture of the thing. You're not wrong that brain chips can output thoughts to the cloud. That's not wrong. I've never disputed that. That's not artificial intelligence at all. That's just the internet bypassing the keyboard voice command phase, the same thing. And I articulate all this stuff in that video, Cloud. So if you're asking questions, maybe you should watch the video. One of the key points I make in the video is we have to remember that no matter what, we have a finite amount of attention to pay to things in the world. We can't pay infinite amount of attention. And we have a finite amount of opportunity to structure that time as we see fit. I talk in the video about how the creation of bots and or auto pays and things like that represent a delegation of a part of what's normally expressed through agency to a sub-agent or or representative or bot or something like that. But most importantly, what I do is I address the fundamental misconception that somehow maximizing existing tools or reducing the amount of distance between application of will and instance of will, that's artificial intelligence. That's definitely not artificial intelligence. And I would say is it a good idea to have a chip in your brain? Remember, it's not letting you do anything you can't already do, or making you do anything or allowing you to do anything in any way that's not already possible to do. The only difference is the elimination of the physical interface into a non-physical interface. But functionally, it's exactly the same thing as the internet, right? How's that artificial intelligence? We're already connected to millions of people. I am connected to millions of people right now by the internet, right? Same thing, Cloud. That's why you should watch the video, probably, because these are basics that you need to. Okay, but see, okay, so this is where Elon Musk is wrong. Speaking as slow as a few bytes per second of information, computers send millions of times more in the same time. Correct. But information has value only to the extent that an agent attends to it and uses the information for something. And the speed at which agents can process information is the absolute ceiling, not the speed at which computers can send it. No, words compress complex. Words compress complex concepts. They don't decompress complex concepts. They compress them. Then they need to be decompressed if you don't understand the complex process set of ideas as an NI whole. If you do, then you don't need to uncompress and recompress every time. So it's like the brain chip idea is a stupid idea because the amount of gain you get is too small for the amount of intrusion or invasiveness, you know? If you're worried about the ability to control minds, people are already doing it. Look at North Korea. That's an effective form of mind control and involves no technology at all. Do you understand that your brain is a billion times more complex than your conscious speech or inner voice? But look, the point is, Cloud, the only kind of aspects of self that can be communicated are those aspects of self that are communicable. So if you're pointing out that there are complexities that aren't reducible to language, those same complexities are not able to be impacted, understood, related to, engaged with at all by this chip. Because those are non-communicable aspects. They aren't reducible in the way that things need to be in order to be integrated into the external metaphysical system. Okay, so Cloud, where am I wrong? You haven't pointed to anything that I'm wrong about yet. Who cares who accepts the chip? That's not the fucking point. The point is, what is it? You don't seem to understand what it is, Cloud. It's just like having a keyboard and a mouse and a microphone that takes voice commands made really small and inserted into your brain. Okay, just think of it like that. Now, do you understand what the thing you're talking about is? I guess you do. I don't know. You are an enigma, Cloud. You are a muse for me. You're absolutely a muse. So many good ideas arise in me from thinking about things you said and going, how in the world can anybody think such a thing? And it's a powerful unlocking tool for me, extrovertedly intuitive wise, you know? Okay, so what is it then, Cloud? But you can't explain anything to me. You have no words of answers. You say it's much more than what I said. Okay, so what is it then? What is it going to do? Just give me something meaningful. Some bit of progress that shows you've gone from understanding 0 to understanding 0.01. What is this thing you are talking about then? That's just his way of saying, I'm just enamored with the idea-like sheen of this thing. So enamored with the idea-like sheen of this thing that I can't actually look at it to see if it's a real idea. Okay, then shoot me a link to a picture that explains to me what you understand. ESFP, James. He doesn't call himself an ESFP. I think he's an ESFP. And you're 5D. Okay, so will 5D ever understand that it's banging its head against the wall due to the obvious stupidity of these 3D people and stop trying to scold them into becoming 5D then? I wonder. If you want to know what's super important, don't forget to ask yourself, hey, myself, what's super important? I can't tell you something you already don't know. That's just fucking epic. I mean, nice job, dude. Seriously, that is some poetry. Is what that is. It's sheer poetry. All right, I'm playing writer's block right now. Well, I think I'm going to do the. It is many dimensions more complex than your little frame. Well, God, you know what? I knew I should have gotten the multi-dimensional frame. Which frame did you get? Did you get the one with like 6 dimensions or 8 dimensions? I should have gotten the one you got. God damn it. Rachel, I told you we should have bought the 5-dimensional frames. Rachel's the one who made me get the 3D frames. She's like, 3D is enough. We're 3D ourselves in space. I'm like, time? Rachel, time? What about time? 4th dimension? She's like, okay, well, maybe 4. Now I see I should have gone 5 dimensions. Stupid Eric. God. I'm going to regret this the rest of my life, Cloud. I really do want to deconstruct this excellent sentence of Clouds a little bit more. Because it's like a Zen koan. I can't tell you something you already don't know. I can't tell you something you already don't know. It's what. I mean, Cloud, are you sure you can't tell me something I already don't know? I'm pretty sure you can tell me something. How do you spell koan? Like Zen koan? Is it Koan? Yeah, okay. I can't tell you something you already don't know. Did you expect me to not know it later? Then I did end up not knowing it? Or I see. I can't tell you something. You already don't know. Is a comma meant to be like a semicolon? I can't tell you something you already don't know. I'm confused. Maybe he's saying I'm delusional. I like that statement. Hi, face mask.
Hi.
Why are you face masking? Where did you go?
For a walk.
You go.
I was extra safe just in case. I don't know. I brought my mask with me for the walk.
Cool.
I got an autograph for you.
Thank you, darling.
Yes, let's
Thanks.
I went over to find the arboretum against that spot, but then it took a long way home. Not on purpose.
I can't tell you something that you should already be obvious. It should already be obvious to you, but you don't already know.
What, that you love Hoseric?
No, I'm parsing out Cloud's statement, which is.
No, I know it's and he's parsing out that he loves you.
He does. Cloud loves me.
He loves you.
Oh. I can't tell you something you already don't know. So what the interpretation here by Tom Jefferson is, I can't tell you something that should already be obvious to you, but you don't already know. Where did you get this?
The refrigerator.
Oh. We got Skittles too.
Yeah.
Have we heard about the term hiding in plain sight? Yes. But the thing is, that would seem to belie Cloud's statement, because if someone was hiding in plain sight and you were standing next to it, I could, in fact, tell you, hey, there's that thing you're looking for. Right?
I can make your hands clap.
It's a metaphor, Zandy. It's a reference to the idea of a Zen koan, I believe.
Gonad?
Koan.
Oh.
A Zen koan is a riddle. Like, what is the sound of one hand clapping? It's supposed to, when they ask that question, what their hope is going to do is make you listen and realize the sound of one hand clapping is all the other sounds of the world. You know? I'd rather have somebody explain the trick to me like that. Oh, that's what they're trying to get you to do. Okay, I get it. I get the concept. We can move on now. No, you have to experience it so you get enlightened. All right, you monkey monks. Go suck it is right. Go suck it. I don't want your
There was some tale about the grasshopper and the ant. And the grasshopper played the fiddle and the ants were working. And the ants always admired the grasshopper for fiddling all day, and the fiddling grasshopper admired the work ethic of the ant. And I was like, how sweet is that?
Rachel, I wonder if you could ask me some questions about my mom.
Sure.
That could be a shortcut way of getting some audio on that.
Yeah. When was she born?
My mom was born in the 30s. I think 33, 36. I'm not sure exactly which year, but in the 30s. Same year as my dad.
Did she have I know that she traveled a lot with your dad. Did she have a place that she enjoyed going to more often than others?
You know, I think that my mom traveled because my dad liked to travel a lot. And she and my dad were enough of a team that my dad always made sure to travel in ways that she enjoyed and were comfortable for her. They didn't push her too far or hard. But I think on some level, my mom really enjoyed when she and my dad didn't go somewhere and they stayed home and she gardened and watched the Dodger game and went to bed early and graded papers and cooked dinner and stuff like that.
Sounds very pleasant.
But to answer the question more properly, a place that I think she probably liked as well as any would be Roche Harbor up in Washington State.
Washington State?
Or possibly, well, I'm going to change that answer. I know. The place that I remember her waxing ecstatic about more than any other was Japan. When she was a English teacher back at San Marino High School, one year she won the Teacher of the Year awarded by the Japanese Parents Association, and they gave that teacher that won that award a free trip to Japan with their significant other. And she loved Japan. She absolutely loved it. He'd come back, she'd talk all about how clean it was and what wonderful people they were and how it was safe. And it really appealed to her SIFE sense of, familiarity, like respect for the past and constancy and safety and stuff.
Yeah.
She liked Japan.
Very nice. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I think their culture is fascinating, especially their linkage to the past and how it's changing. And yeah.
If any of you in the live chat have any questions about my mom, I'll field questions from you too, so the burden's not all on Rachel.
What was something that your mom really loved to bake or cook?
She was quite a cook. Mom used to, I want to stress, Mom is still alive. She's not really with us anymore. She's very far along in her dementia. Regardless, she liked to cook a lot of different things. But we had certain dishes that I got sick of. One dish that I got sick of was potato leek soup.
Oh
my mom would grow leeks in the backyard, and she was very big on not letting anything go to waste, and also about healthy eating. Now, her definition of healthy eating changed over the years based on things that she'd read, I guess. But I read that this is very good for you.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. Sounds like my cousin.
So the thing is, but we had a lot of potato leek soup, and she made a lot of things that she'd make it on Sunday or at the beginning of the week, and then we'd eat it through like Thursday of the week. And so by the fourth night of potato leek soup, I was like, can we please not eat this anymore?
Yeah, I understand that for sure. I would have loved to have tried your mom's potato leek soup. I love potato leek soup. When it's done right,
it was great.
I can see your mom taking a bomb-ass job at it.
Well, I mean, I think one of the reasons she made it so much is that it was quite good, and we had the leeks, and it was cheap, but I think I had too much, so I got sick of it.
Your mom has a degree, right?
Yeah, she actually got her bachelor's degree in biology from Cal Berkeley way back in the day.
Wow.
And she taught biology before I was born. When she came back to the States from Europe, she taught biology at first. After when she was pregnant with me, she got like time off or whatever or quit, I'm not sure, for all the way until I was in first grade before she went back to work, or maybe second grade, something like that. And so when she went back to work, then she was teaching English for some reason. She may have gotten a double major, but her main course of study in college was biology.
What was one of the best lessons you learned from your mom?
I mean, it's interesting. Mom didn't teach me lessons. I could answer that question so much more easily about my dad. I mean, it's still difficult to question the best one, but dad is often teaching lessons, and lots of them are valuable. Mom didn't really teach me any lessons, but what she did was demonstrate what it looked like to love. And she demonstrated a lot of respect for kindness to each other in the family, at least. My family, we didn't speak harshly to each other. We didn't tease each other. We didn't. We respected and loved each other, you know. And that's not always the case for a lot of people in their families. And I've come to see that increasingly as I've gotten older, and I've branched out from my little local geographical knowledge base into talking to more and more people on the internet and such, and hearing a lot of people's, you know, dark bits. People, when you have some sort of public persona, as I engage with people from the internet, it's usually through this channel, through my public persona, quote unquote, and people afford that public persona a lot of meaning. That's their own generated meaning that I'm totally unaware of or whatever. But so people might see me as somebody they want to tell stuff to, you know?
That's
like,
me. People tell me a lot of stuff that I don't even really, you know, they indulge, but I didn't ask for it.
But I do respect the fact that for some of these people who tell me some dark things and want to tell me about maybe instances of abuse that they experience and stuff.
Absolutely. It's important to be informed.
I try to listen. And I'm also, though, careful of my own feelings. I'm aware that hearing certain kinds of stories can have a really lasting impact on me that makes me, it hurts my feelings in ways that are like, it's hard to shake. And I don't want to carry all that weight with me either. So, where was I going with that? I don't know. Let's get back on topic. I have to edit this anyway if we're going to use the audio.
Your
so
mom.
Fine. Yeah, let's get back on topic.
She was an only child?
She was an only child. And I think she had an interesting childhood. It involved living in both Colorado and Arizona at different times, and eventually in California as a teenager. When
did she move to California?
It was probably when she was 13 or 14. Prior to that, she had lived in Tempe, Arizona, and at Tempe Drug, which was my grandmother's drugstore there. And she didn't live at the drugstore, but she worked there. I think actually they did live like above the drugstore or behind the drugstore or something.
Mm-hmm.
But when she talked about her childhood, she'd tell a lot of stories about working at the drugstore. Grandma always had her being productive, I guess. Grandma was an ESTJ. And so, yeah, that was my grandma's only child was my mom, Jane. And my mom's biological father was a alcoholic domestic violence guy. My grandmother left him when he punched her in the face one night. One of my mom's earliest memories. One of my mom's earliest memories is of my grandmother wearing big dark glasses after that instance to cover up the black eye. So, yeah, her childhood, I think, when she spoke of it, she spoke fondly of it. She talked about playing with her friend and collecting scorpions for the university.
That's so cool.
They paid the children. This would never happen nowadays, right? They paid the children a nickel scorpion, and so the children would go out and collect scorpions for the scientists.
Wow.
Who were doing like venom, using the venom for research.
What was a stereotypical ISFJ thing that your mom used to do?
Well, I gotta say, she was a pretty stereotypical ISFJ. She liked to cook a lot. She went to bed very early, and increasingly so as she got older. When I was very little, she might have made it up on some nights till 10 o'clock. For the bulk of my childhood, it was like bedtime's 9. For her, not necessarily, there were some times when my bedtime, I would go to bed slightly later than her. And as I got older, that increasingly would happen, of course. But then, as after I was like an adult, at that point, she'd be going to bed at like 7:30 at night and waking up at like 4 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning. her sleep schedule kept shifting earlier and earlier.
Same hours, right?
Yeah, same hours.
Just shifting. That's so funny.
And SI stuff was hugely important to her.
Mhm.
There's a long stretch of my childhood where every morning we'd both get up in the morning. She'd often get me up, and we'd make International Foods Cafe Francais coffee. And we'd sit together in the family room right there. And we'd sip our coffee and we'd chat. And I always enjoyed that time a lot. I looked forward to it. She did too. She was saying, "This is SI. See how good it is? It's great." And I was like, I didn't have to, I could appreciate it without doing it myself,
Mm-hmm.
Very, very SI person. And she had her repertoire of things she said and stories she told and stuff, and she repeated them. My dad too. It's very SI husband, SI1 and SI2. I thought I had heard all my dad's stories. I have not heard all my dad's stories. He sometimes surprised me with new ones still. And it's like I didn't know all that stuff about the guy who crashed his car and died, and my dad going to the hospital with him and stuff. Until he told both of us, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then he showed us in a book that is true.
Yeah.
And I was like, so it's not like he's making up new stories.
No.
I hadn't heard that one.
No.
Anyway, what did I get off topic about? Mom, and talking something about Mom.
How she used to tell stories.
Oh yeah, so yeah, she'd tell stories too.
Yeah, she'd talk about the same thing.
Yeah, and you got to see that at the very when you came too. She was still verbal a little bit when you were first here. And she'd talk about Europe and stuff.
Yep, the thing she liked. I could tell that she liked English literature and reading. She had a taste for science and nature, animals. It was very simple and sweet. She was always so sweet. I remember the second day walking in, she was like, "Oh, we just like you so much." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I like you too."
And I got to say also, one of the things that for me was an impactful reality was Rachel basically came here and had to tell me that my dad and I weren't listening enough to my mom. That she was communicating more than we were giving her credit for. My dad and I had shifted into this person's just talking gobbledygook. But Rachel correctly understood that my mom was frequently trying to communicate with us, and I needed to listen to her more. And Rachel really was a helpful and powerful advocate on my mom's behalf in a house where I didn't think she needed an advocate. Obviously, my dad and I both love her a lot and do our best, but seventh FI, fourth FI, we're not really natively prone to putting ourselves in the other person's shoes.
Just wanted to do what you felt was right for her at the time. It's a very hard thing to understand, dementia and what is the other one? Dementia and when you lose your memory. Alzheimer's.
It's the same thing. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia.
Yes. Because a lot of times they do say and do things like put keys in places and stuff in wrong spots, and they tell stories that are half true and then half made up. But then sometimes there are lucid moments where they are communicating in sometimes verbal, sometimes physical. Because you start to realize when she would go she would get physical with it, and that's when a cue for you that oh, she's trying to tell me something right now.
Right. I learned after Rachel drew my attention to what I was in. See, I basically came in following my dad's lead. My dad had been carrying too much of the load for too long by himself. I came in here. I moved back here later than I should have, frankly. But the slabs dictate what they dictate. And he had just he was very te about it. Well, we need to get this done, and you're getting upset. Jane isn't helping. So, regardless, Rachel. Hopefully, I don't know if you remember Rachel or not, Mom. I bet you remember her in some sense.
I hope so. I think
And-
she does in a way. I think she does. She remembered me last time, which was just a nice surprise to me for that she remembered. And she said, "Oh, you're from New York," and I was like, "Yeah." So, I understand the disease. My grandma had it, so I don't have too many expectations going in with this, but she is such a sweet and smart woman, and she raised a great son, and I could tell she had an amazing relationship with your dad, and it's a joy knowing her. It's just like, I feel like it's an honor. She's such a sweet, tender-hearted woman.
And of course, the challenge for me or for anybody who's got a family member with dementia is the person's still there physically. On some level, they're still there as an identity. Their identity hasn't exactly changed, even though all of their affect has. And yet you can't communicate with them, and they're not anything like the person you used to know. And so you end up your loved one ends up half dying.
Yeah.
It's like
as you watch them.
It's like they're gone, but you're not mourning yet.
Yeah.
But you kind of are. But
you are.
It's like,
yeah, because that's how it was for me as well. Like,
it's almost unfair in the sense that it's like by the time your life is over, if it's been 10 years of you not being yourself, and you have that funeral, it's like the person that we're mourning, we're celebrating the life of somebody today. We're passing their mourning and stuff. That person, are you going to talk about the person that she really is and was, or are you going to talk about the person she'd become in her time of
both
degeneration?
Things,
And they're both part of the story, but it's like only one part of that story is interesting.
Yeah. Well, she's lived through so much. Your mom had a very healthy life, it sounds like. Did she not?
Yeah, she did. In fact, she always took a lot of effort to prevent this from happening. She was very busy with doing Sudokus and crossword puzzles. She was eating, these kinds of amino acids that help your brain, omega, whatever. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. She was always checking into those like magazine articles that told you how to make sure you kept yourself mentally fit as well as physically fit.
I get that.
She was careful about her diet. She didn't smoke. Amazingly, one of the things I learned in this whole process is my mom has never been hospitalized for anything except giving birth to me. And that's it. And being born. Other than that, she's never been to the hospital. Now, granted, she's been at the doctor plenty and for things, and she's been to the dentist, but she's never been hospitalized for anything.
That's something.
She's never had any major health problems. And so, she rode her bike all the time. She got a lot of exercise. But the thing is, stuff still, we're, as a human species, we tend to be very fixated on the aspects that we believe we can control and not very interested in whether or not that thing we're controlling is very determinate. So, like, it's it's one of those things where it's like diet. So my weight goes up and down depending on how much I eat by about 10 pounds or so. I don't know, 15 pounds maybe. But that's the floor and the ceiling. And basically, diet doesn't make any difference to me. What if I ate different foods? Would I lose a little weight or gain a little weight or something? Maybe. But the point is, I'm arguing from the margins. I'm saying let's spend a lot of energy and time focusing on this thing that impacts the question 1% and ignoring the aspects of the question that are addressed by the 99%. What is Countess saying? Countess, can you be pleasant? Please.
Who are you talking to, Swift?
Well, yeah. Winston's mom says Countess is bullying Swift Eagle.
Oh, come on. Give it a rest.
You are telling him to stop being delusional. Okay, well, can you stop telling him to stop being delusional? Maybe he doesn't think he's delusional, and he views your portraying of him as delusional as insulting. No, I'm not going to give you a wrench, Swift Eagle. You're just going to immediately ban Countess. You guys, I'm trying to do this Mother's Day thing here.
Oh yeah.
This is time for motherly love. What are you guys doing? You want mom to hear all this stuff about you guys just fighting?
When was the time where she got upset with you?
Every time she would get upset with me, it would either be because, well, it was things like I come home too late, or she was worried about me. She was not dad, you know. We only need the family. She was sort of liberated from any need to ever be dad because dad is so dad.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wait till your father gets home. It definitely applies in my family. My mother didn't really deal with shit herself.
That's good.
So,
yeah.
But you know, in other words, we negotiated out what was fair between us a lot. So my mom, if I was unfair, my mom would cry, and then I'd feel really bad, and I'd say I'm sorry, and I'd try to fix the problem.
Who, what, when, where, when, how?
Who, what, when, where, why, and how? Who? Jane. What? Her life. Why? Mother's Day. Where? Here and at the nursing home. What? When?
Did she?
Where? How?
Was she happy to hear when you were having Delilah?
Well, that's an interesting story. So, no, she was very unhappy about it. Mm-hmm. When she learned that Melinda, my first wife, was pregnant, she really was unhappy about it. She was just, I think she cried, and I mean, my mom cried at the drop of a hat. She was a big crier. She cried a lot. Okay. Oh, you're not. Like one of the big concerns at the time was that she couldn't believe that I would be so responsible to have a kid before I.
What's going on?
I don't know why. Mother's Day, Tom Chickelson. Mother's Day, not relationship fuckwit day. Will you stop, please?
Why so mean?
I don't know. He probably thought it was not an inappropriate joke, but he didn't understand that it actually links to a thing. I think I can tell what happened. He assumed there's no way that it could possibly actually link to something. It actually links to something for us. So it's like it worked. And it worked as not intended. It's a concern for her.
For who? Me? Yeah, and honestly, your mom would want us to be together. She wants us happy. She always did. You know, when we were here and she was here, she always wanted us to be happy.
Yeah,
That's it.
I know. And
I do have like
she can tell who's good and not. She hated this lady Lily that we had, who was helping
yeah.
with good reason. Lily was such a slug. Like Lily didn't care about her at all.
No, she didn't. She helped your dad with like physical stuff, but she wasn't like interacting with your mom at all.
Tom Jiggleton, I hereby absolutely absolve you.
It's okay. What type is Tom Jiggleton?
Either INFJ or some kind of NTP. Oh yeah, back to the story. Thank you, Jake Hurwitz. So basically, she just figured it was irresponsible for me to have impregnated my wife because we didn't own a home yet. Was one of her reasons.
Oh.
You should own a home before you get somebody pregnant.
Oh, that's sensible.
Whereas we were just renting a home. I mean,
but
I thought, Mom, that's kind of a weird standard to have, right? It's like you're basically excluding 3/4 of the population from breeding.
They can actually do that.
And
yeah,
only homeowners should breed.
That is so funny.
But basically, she just didn't like the idea of change. From it's like all of a sudden things were this way. Eric and Melinda are living down there, and we're here, and all of a sudden, and she's operating under the assumption that that's how things are going to be, and then something changes all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're going to be a grandmother? Oh my God, that's not how I anticipated today going. I did not anticipate my fundamental sense of self in time and space changing today, so I don't like it at all. I don't remember if she really changed her perspective during the course of the pregnancy or not, but I can tell you this: as soon as Delilah was born, it was an entirely different tune. My mother was a great mother to me and loved me a lot, but it was pretty clear that she really liked Delilah a lot more than me. She really loved Delilah.
Aww.
And are there phrases or some words my mom would always say to me? Lots of such things, Andy, because she's an SI down, so she repeated herself all the time. Every time it was cold, just like every time it's cold for me, I say it too, although I try to change how I say it every time. She always says, cold as a witch's tit out here, which was a little fresh and amused her.
That is cute.
She'd always say something like, she had a number of sayings that I can't, it's her. I wish I weren't, my SI is not being very good right now. It's not recalling things as clear as I'd like to. But let me think of some other things.
Can I have the lead, please?
Yes.
She even encouraged us to smoke weed. I remember one day we were talking a lot, and she gave me the bong. She's like, "Here."
Every little bit counts. This is something she'd say. Every little bit counts. When she was a piggy bank keeper, and she'd say, "Every little bit counts."
Aww.
And she put in a coin into there.
Oh well, I think we have a lot going on in our piggy bank.
Yes, I agree. What are other sayings she'd say? I'm sure there are lots, but I could just spit. She'd say, I could just spit when she was mad about something.
I could just say, oh, how cute. I love that she loved the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Did she watch them as a kid, too?
I don't know about that, but when she was watching the Dodgers.
Oh, my God. I am such an airhead.
You had to pour beer into the pipe?
As a partier.
Yeah, well, I went to drink the bong the other day instead of drinking the beer.
God!
So I know what you're talking about.
That's both bad.
What was a very memorable experience I had with my mom growing up? When I think about experiences with my mom, the memories that come to mind first are not very dramatic memories. They're just me and mom sitting in the morning having coffee. Uh, Me and mom gardening, maybe me picking tomato bugs off the tomato plants while my mom's gardening nearby. We're both listening to the Dodger game. No, my daughter's an ESTP, irrational skeptic. I remember. I mean, like I remember being in the car and like my mom always saying to me, your dad's very busy right now. Like when dad would get frustrated with something, like when he had to stop and put on the chains or something on the car, right?
Oh, the car.
Yeah.
That does suck.
And my dad would get mad, you know. My dad was a bit of a scary dad, but he was mostly, it's all bark, no bite, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Countess and Swift Eagle.
What's going on?
Can you just stop it now, please, Countess? Countess, I see you as a bit of the instigator here, frankly, and I'm about to put you on timeout, little missy. You are not showing the spirit of Mother's Day in your heart, Countess.
I have to call my mom tomorrow.
What did my phone say to me? I don't know. I'm trying to tell. Did I get a text, maybe? No. Okay, I don't know why my phone makes noises like that sometimes.
Hey, sound artists.
Hi, sound artists. So we're talking about my mom. Most memorable experience. I like that.
Thanks, Swift Eagle.
I like that question a lot, Zandy. It strikes me how banal all my memories are. And there's nothing particularly dramatic that I remember doing with my mom. I remember going through the drive-thru of McDonald's every time before choir practice.
I used to do it. That's so cute.
Choir practice meant McDonald's. After school, go to McDonald's into choir practice. I always remember looking forward to that, and I was going through McDonald's every time. My mom also had kind of like a my car situation which is ironic as an SI Dom, but like me, she like have trash in the back of the car. Like she'd throw the fast food bags in the back of the car. And my dad did not like that, but she'd say, "David, it's my car." And
oh, they're so cute. Oh my goodness.
And then eventually at some point she stopped doing that though. I think at some point, I don't know what happened. Maybe she just stopped doing it, or maybe my dad finally won that argument.
I'm gonna try it. Why not?
Probably she just stopped going through fast food. Probably the fast food thing was a phenomenon of her having me in the car. All right. So well, my most memorable memory with my mother is this one. This is very memorable memory. It was the time that Paul Porter and I fell out of the bus playing stand up in the bus. As children, we had a game called Stand Up in the Bus, where we'd stand up in the VW bus that my mom was driving, and she'd drive around the corners, and we'd go, whoa, and fall against this side, and then whoa, fall against that side. And it was a fun 1970s game, back before people cared about safety, right? Nobody had seatbelts or anything. Like, the children would all be, flying down these hills on skateboards with no helmets or elbow pads or anything. So anyway, Stand Up in the Bus was a fun game we all played until one morning my mom hung a right on California Boulevard here from Rosemead Boulevard, or perhaps came straight across. I'm not sure, but we were on California. It must have been after the corner, because otherwise we wouldn't have flown off to the side like that. So she must have turned right from Rosemead, and we went, whoa! We fell against the car door, the sliding door of the side of the van, and it opened. and we both fell out of the van
Shit.
and rolled out onto the cement. And I looked up to watch a car come like this, like stop right here. Like, I was looking like, oh shit, you know? So then I got up and I saw my mom still driving, and I burst into tears because I thought she was going to drive away and leave us. And shortly thereafter, she pulled over. Paul's sister, Sammy was still sitting in the van. She hadn't been playing stand-up in the bus with us. So she didn't fall out of the bus. But anyway, Paul was more hurt than I was, but still wasn't very badly hurt. But he had a bump on his head. So my mom took him to the doctor. And after that, we weren't allowed to play stand-up in the bus anymore. Can you believe it? Countess, will you shut up? That's it. You're on timeout.
Who are you talking about?
Countess is being a yeah. Thank you, Winston's mom.
Thanks, Winston's mom. Uncool.
Sorry, everybody. I probably should have done that a little sooner. No, we're not being bullies, Countess. We're being reasonable. We're putting reasonable limits on the discourse you're spewing because it's assaultive. Stand up in the bus sounds like a game fun for ESTPs of all ages. Well, you know, I grew up around sensors.
Like fun.
I had a lot of sensors in my life, and another game that we played as boys was Who Can Do It the Best. Who Can Do It the Best is a game where you arbitrarily design some physical thing, like who can throw this stick closest to that bush over there, you know, from over here, and then everybody takes a turn, and whoever gets it closest, they get the prize of saying, "I can do it the best," and everyone goes, "Okay, you can do that the best," and so then they go on to the next thing. Okay, well, who can climb up, stand on top, jump over, come back up, stand on top, jump over, come back up, stand on top, and jump over again. Who can do that the fastest? And then
who's that?
That's Countess.
Oh.
Countess, will you stop, please? Why are you so upset? There's nothing for you to be so upset about. You get so mad all the time. Look, Countess, just hear me for a second. You get super mad all the time. Why are you getting so mad? What are you so mad about? Swift Eagle, don't be pathologizing. I'll fucking put you on timeout too, but I don't care. Fair's fair. I mean, because it's like, now granted, I gave her a lot of rope. I tend to give Countess a lot of rope because she's prone to that, and she kind of needs a lot of rope, I guess. Jealousy is not a disease. It's a natural phenomenon associated with human and all animal reproduction. It involves
what's the jealousy about, though?
I don't know. All right, do we have any? You know what? That's probably plenty of stuff about my mom.
Oh yeah, we wanted to get Kefir at Trader Joe's.
Yes, Kefir, which I believe we always pronounce Kefir. That's something my mom would buy for me as a kid. Strawberry Kefir.
I think it was Kefir too. I don't know why I pronounce it that way.
It's all right, Swift Eagle.
I want to try it.
I mean, is AI impossible? Well, like I said in the video, it's certainly conceivable to grow, but could possibly inorganically, a self-aware being, but it would have to be limited in similar ways. In other words, as soon as you start to imagine AI having too much capacity to act, or in any of the attentional variants, like either act or receive information or then it ceases to be the application of a singular self with a self-concept and a will, because a sonnet is a sonnet not so much because of what it is, but because of what it's not. It's not anything but a 14-line poem. So it's the same thing with a self-aware sentient being. A self-aware sentient being definitionally is constrained to be certain kinds of things. Eric, answer me this. Look, obligated introverts, believe it or not, I'm not putting that much attention into your fightiness, okay? You know I'm particularly reactive to I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm trying to talk about my mom for Mother's Day.
Hi, Phoebe.
I'm not paying that much attention. But when you call somebody physically ugly, then you're going to get in trouble with me.
There's trouble out there.
I care, Thrifty Eagle. I have maybe somewhat arbitrary, but perfectly reasonable limits. I don't like it when people insult somebody's physical appearance at all. To me, that's below the belt and unacceptable. So, and obligated introverts / countess. Countess, the idea that you would complain that somehow I am not tolerant enough of your bullshit, that I suppress your free speech too much, is insane. I am hesitant to time you out. I don't like to time you out. You force my hand all the time. He's not forcing my hand. When I chastised him, he said, sorry. That's how reasonable people respond when they make mistakes. You always double down. I don't know that. You're assuming I have all this knowledge or care about this subject at all. I am not talking about what happens in general. I'm talking about what you say in the fucking chat. Ay.
Hambone, can you? Thank you.
I got it. Boy, and you're completely hijacking this live stream and my thing about Mother's Day in pursuit of your own fussiness here. So let's say I just accept what you say at face value, and that he lied to the people that cheated on you. Okay, well, what's his side of the story? Do I really want to get into it? No, I don't. I don't want to figure out who's right.
Maybe under there.
You know what I always say in life?
What?
I say, don't be a bundt cake.
I like that phrase.
No, Countess, it's not wrong to defend your honor. But I mean, look, I don't know the whole story here, and you're insisting that I allow you to cross obvious lines and you're justifying it by saying somebody else crossed lines, right? Well, your crossing lines is not justified by their previously having crossed lines that I didn't punish them for. I am like a cop in the sense that if I pull you over for speeding, you can't say, well, you missed some other people who were speeding, so you can't pull me over. Well, no, I'm not going to catch everybody, but I caught you. How would I like it if people said I cheated on Rachel? Well, I mean, the answer to that question is, I'd say, with whom? Tell me. The only person I care about if they believed it or not would be Rachel. And I don't think she'd believe it because it's literally impossible. We spend all our time together for one thing, and that just ain't how host Eric rolls. We've got a bunt versus pound feud going on here.
Which one, man? Which one? I'm Angel. Okay.
Oh, you're Angel. Are we going to make it a three-way brawl between Angel, Pound, and Bunt? let's let Bunt and Pound fight it out
Yeah,
first, and winner
yeah.
can get Angel. Okay.
Buns and pounds are the ones you definitely. I think Bun's cake is in a certain shape.
Yeah, it's in the shape of a bunt. Okay, well, look, if that's actually true, yeah, I am listening to you, Archangel. I actually am. Of course, not that you ever give me any credit for this, of course. I note that I am bending over backwards to make sure that you do get heard, despite the fact that I am once again still being hijacked here by this topic. So I'm not sure what he said, and I'm not sure in what. I don't, it's like I don't know what the context was. I don't know what he intended to mean. I don't know what the words actually do mean because I don't know what the actual words are. There's a lot of gray area here. Okay, so I mean, and even if you're right, you're talking about there's something happened somewhere else that you want to hold him accountable for here. You want to make this live stream about you're holding him accountable for something he did someplace else. Why is this the appropriate forum for you to do that? If it happened here, well, I guess that would make it the appropriate forum. Look, if you keep saying he lied about you, I'm not sure and have no way of knowing, at least in the moment, whether or not it actually qualifies as a real lie. That is to say, he consciously and willfully deceived others about you for the purpose of harming you in some sense, or whether it's you working that angle, that something he said was slightly inaccurate, and now you're accusing him of lying. Big difference, right? I don't know. But what you should know is this, Archangel. You have, in the past, sometimes lashed out of me, even tonight, somewhat lashed out of me. Remember that what I'm doing here is being abundantly fair to you in every regard. Archangel, you're obviously speaking, aren't you? And I explained why he didn't get timed out, right? Because I scolded him for something. He displayed appropriate wanting to work with me, whereas you display none of that. I'm not eager to pull the trigger. I didn't pull you over the first time I saw you committing this traffic infraction. I pulled you over the 15th time I saw you committing it. It's like, God, this woman's brazen. And that is not the case for Swift Eagle. So, sorry, there's a significant and real difference between how you were engaging and why you got timed out and how he was engaging and why he did not. It's not a rule, it's a standard. A standard requires discretion, and I applied mine appropriately here. Archangel, it is not okay for anyone to tell lies. Everything I've told you right now has made it clear that the problem is you're conflating his behavior and what happens to him with your own behavior and what happens to you. They're different things. The behaviors are different. So the outcomes are different. No, the behaviors are different, so the outcomes are different. It's a standard, not a rule. Listen to the words I say. Archangel, I'm not approving of lying. Again, I'm not familiar with all the specifics of this case. I'm not necessarily sure if how much weight and credence to place in your interpretation of it. That's to be expected. If I didn't have that kind of withholding of judgment, this wouldn't be a place where your actual right to express yourself is supported. I'm not saying that, Archangel, and you're trying to position it as though I am, that lying is better than getting angry. Well, I mean, you can try to put that on me if you want, but that's just your strategy of self-deception. Archangel, I don't time you out because I'm angry. I time you out because I deem that you have crossed too many lines at this point and need to experience some consequences. And then you don't make me angry. You're not even... Okay, Archangel. So you say, next time I will accuse you of cheating on Rachel with Eileen. So you're saying that what he did isn't bad then, because you'd be happy to do it too. Oh, okay, then my mistake. I thought lying, if he was lying about you, that would be bad. But you just confirmed for me that it's not in your mind, that it's fine for you to lie, as long as you feel justified. So I get it. You have no moral standard at all. You have no principle. You have no character. So that's your problem, not mine. I know, and that's wrong. Makes no sense. It makes you sound stupid. So yeah, that's a problem. The fact that you're trying to say it's what I did. I didn't do shit. I was trying to talk about my mother. And you're like, oh, you timed me out, but not him. Because he didn't behave as badly as you. D-U-H, duh. For Christ's sakes, woman. Yes, I timed you out. Archangel, it's not my job to punish people for things that happened not related to me. You come and say, Angus here called me names the other day on Facebook. What does that have to do with me? What am I? Am I the internet police? Are you telling on him to me? I mean, seriously. Okay, I mean, Archangel, you're accusing Winston's mom of bullying you. I mean, what is it that you think is going to be the outcome of that claim that you're making? You say that she bullied you. How did she bully you? Am I just supposed to take everything you say at face value and just be Countess's little bitch? Countess storms up, Eric, why is Winston's mom still a moderator? I told you she bullied me. Yeah, well, you say a lot of crazy shit. I mean, I'm supposed to just take your word all the time? Or, I mean, but you interpret everything as bullying. You called me, you said I bullied you earlier too. When do I bully you? I don't bully you for shit. How am I bullying you? You said I'm the one with no moral standards. What? How am I the one with no moral standards? This is the sort of shit that makes me not take you seriously. What is so disrespectful? What did she do? Now you've explained to me what you accused Swift Eagle of doing. Okay? What is the thing that Winston's mom supposedly did? What did Winston's mom do? You said you wrote it out above. I don't see it anywhere. Okay. You think everything's bullying, Countess? Nobody's bullying you. If you were to ask everybody around here, and I shit you not, everybody around here, if you ask them independently, say, Can you come up with the name of somebody in the general wider TWFP typology community besides host Eric who might be called a bully? I'm sure a fair number of them would come up with Countess. Okay, that if we were to put all the people in the chat and stuff here in a list and take a vote for who's the biggest bully, you would win in a landslide. I mean, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but that's the truth. If there's anybody around here who can sort of fairly be accused of being a bully, it's me and you. One of the ways that you bully people is by constantly insisting that they're bullying you. I mean, them's the facts, Countess. Seriously, I shit you not. If we were to take that vote, you would be voted most bully-ish by a landslide vote. Do I not know what's wrong with me? I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with me. What's wrong with me? You tell me. What do you think is wrong with me? I don't think there's anything wrong with me. I used to have that internalized narrative that there was something wrong with me. But not anymore. Nowadays, I'm full of self-esteem. You remember what, Countess? What the? It's like, make some sense, for God's sakes. What are you trying to get at here? What am I doing that's so terrible? We're not actually doing a bully poll. But that is the pinnacle of anti-bully bullying. It's like all the kids in class did a poll, and you were voted most bully. Yeah, this is the thing. So why do you bother talking? You don't read, you just scream? Who's screaming? I'm not screaming. Look, you say things that are just completely delusional things, like that I don't listen, I just scream. I'm very responsive to what you're saying. How can you accuse me of not listening? And I'm not screaming, obviously. So why are you like screaming into the screen and not reading anything you say? I'm not screaming into the screen. I am reading what you say in front of your girlfriend. We'll say what I wrote. I did say what you wrote. What do you want me to say? I have to type the same thing over and over again. You want me to say, what if you accused me of cheating on Rachel with Eileen, right? And how would I feel about that? And I'd say, well, I mean, I'd be concerned that Rachel might believe it, and I would want to clarify that it wasn't true. But I mean, the thing is, hopefully she'd have enough sense to ask you for some supporting evidence of some sort, you know?
What?
Countess says, how would I feel if she accused me of cheating on you with Eileen? And I said, well, hopefully that Rachel would not just believe you right away, would ask for some evidence of some sort. Regardless, I'd be upset about it. But also, that wouldn't mean I would go on to Frank James's live stream and say, Frank James, God damn it, you need to make your live stream about Countess lying about me cheating on Rachel. I do read, Archangel. I've been engaging you directly. And I've been reading what you say. You have successfully hijacked the stream. It's all about you now. So, okay, I'm accommodating you. This does, however, what you do need to understand, though, Archangel, is it does remove from you all arguments that I'm not being fair, which you tend to make when you don't feel like you're happy about things. Nobody's putting you on timeout. Nobody's putting you on timeout except when you do shit that's unacceptable. You know where those lines are, and you choose to cross them. And you get a lot of slack, too. What do you want me to? I've read so much of it. You put so much shit up here. You tell me, well, you don't read it. I don't read everything you write out loud. That's true. If I miss something, I mean, come on, woman. What the fuck do you expect? Think. Have a little bit of sense. I'm sorry you don't like the truth, but this is all the truth I'm telling you. I'm not trying to be difficult or make you feel bad. I'm just telling you the truth about things. But nobody's putting you on timeout. I've read multiple things you've written. You're still complaining. What more do you need from me that makes you feel as though you've been heard? What would you like me to read that I haven't read that you need to have read out loud? Or are you just blowing smoke? I gotta say, I think that video I made earlier, I don't know if it's gonna do very well. It looks like it's doing less well than most videos, but the video I made about AI earlier, I think it's a really great video, and I think people will be well served to watch it. I think it explains a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a great video in terms of like informational impact and content and ideas. It's a little dense. It's a little TI heavy, but for what it is, it's a great video. Did my distraction comment work? I was confused by it. I sort of thought you were referring to Countess perhaps, but she doesn't have Effie in the front. There's a lot there Elon Musk wouldn't understand. I actually found myself speculating about how he would respond if he were to watch that. What do you think about it? I don't even think I mentioned his name in the whole thing. So it's kind of not really about him at all. It's really about Cloud, what Cloud was saying, and how that to think about this issue correctly is yeah. Okay, and this I gotta finish the Mother's Day thing. And now I'm gonna use that audio that I have there. I'm just gonna edit down the parts about my mom, cut out the other shit, and just put it as the audio for underneath the pictures, and then just make the pictures as long as I need to for it to be the same length as the audio. And that'll be the easiest, quick way to do this. Thank you for helping with that, Rachel.
You're welcome. Anytime.
That solves the big problem that was troubling me part of this, which was.
Well, that did. I was glad it helped.
That was great. That was great. Okay, so did you watch the Rogan interview? No, I haven't watched any interviews. But see, that's why I appreciate Cloud. Like when Countess is being very bullish, and Vegas, it's got to be Vegas. Hambone. It's the only place that makes sense. Hambone saying we have to talk about where the TWFP Summer Camp 2020 will be.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's going to be some great Great room deals when they reopen, though.
No, maybe in summer.
Yeah. ESTJ, James. I find myself explaining things differently when I make a video on a live stream, primarily because it's difficult for me to complete a complex chain of thoughts. So I could easily get distracted by things in the live stream. And I get new questions that I want to answer, and new things that are said that I got to respond to, and yeah. Toronto? Who wants to meet in Toronto?
No thanks.
It's like the worst city in Canada.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why don't we meet in Detroit? How about we don't? Have you ever been to Detroit? It's terrible. Okay, Candace is not an ISTJ, Ethan McDonald. Oh, you're JK. I didn't see your JK in time.
Oh, that's funny.
You had delayed JK. Caught me. I read it before.
JK kind of confuse things.
Yeah.
So you're gonna edit?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to just chill, I think, in the other room with my laptop and start going to sleep.
Okay, cool.
Good for you.
I actually I may get a little bit of start on it, and then I may decide to come in and go to bed, and then I'll finish it in the morning or something.
I'm gonna go to sleep when you go to sleep. That's why I'm gonna room my laptop, because then
Okay.
I'll probably just watch it on my phone because I'll listen. I've been listening a lot lately. Okay.
All right. I love you, baby.
I love you too. Alright.
Winnipeg.
I do need sleep clothes.
Winnipeg has a great name, though. Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a good name for a pet goose.
It is. Thank you. And a t-shirt that I'll wear tomorrow.
You wear it tomorrow? Do you want?
That one's good.
Do you want?
I like that blue one.
This one? Which one was it?
Yeah.
This green. This is green.
No, it's blue.
This is green. Oh, it's blue. You're right. It is blue. How did it turn blue? It was lying to me when it was on the shelf.
Oh.
That's not a t-shirt though. It's got a.
Oh, it's long?
It's got a collar.
I'm sorry, polo.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I want to look kind of like.
Do you want a t-shirt to sleep in and pull over the morning?
Mm-hmm.
T-shirt to sleep in. I'm gonna find you the most sleepiest t-shirt I have.
Thank you.
Which is the sleepiest t-shirt I have? Those aren't t-shirts. Where's your, how about this one?
That's a good sleepy one.
This is, I'm going to show them the shirt. Okay. This is a shirt that Rachel and I bought for Rachel at the Pasadena City College flea market. Like the second week she was here or something.
Yeah.
Early on.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it's got these two on the back, and it's got this guy on the front. These guys are Panda bears, I believe they're called. Panda bears.
Pandar. Briefly, I think my laptop is in the. I should have my phone. Use that one.
Thanks, Curious Kyra. Westworld does a good take on AI. Also shows how difficult something like it would be.
Good night, fairy dust. Oh, it's a smacker. I love you. Can't see you later.
Jeez, man. Oh, I've got a poop coming now.
You got me, huh?
Yes,
That'll be good.
it's quite on its way. I think I might have to ask everybody to please chat amongst yourselves briefly while I poop. I'll come back here and wrap this up and chat with you briefly more, and then make this audio thing I'm going to do. All right. Oh, it's a big one, I think. Oh. Oh. Why is this still clogged? What are you doing, Cloggy Pants? Trying to win the clogging award? Why do you think I put all that freaking Drano down you, huh? So it's unclogged, motherfucker. Oh. I just pour the rest of it in there. There. Now you do your thing, Drano. You do your thing. Who's Negan? Yes, I think working memory probably links strongly to SI. I don't know who Negan is. Negan's personality is identical to mine. I seem to be popular in recent years. I've got Rick and Negan now. I've been crafted apparently after me, or that's what I'd like to think anyway. Oh, Negan's tyrannical narcissist, and I don't want him to be crafted after me. I'm not a tyrannical narcissist, am I? I'm pretty sure I'm a non-tyrannical narcissist. Negan is a casual, jolly, savage man who adores violence and mayhem. He's very intelligent and logical, as I've seen in there. The thing is, I'm a moralist. That's core to my identity. And yet I might still very well have exactly the same personality as this guy, because it shows you that personality is about processes used, not how they manifest. In the individual instance of the agent in question. So, like that character, if he has the same personality as me, let's say he's an ENTP, then what that means is he does all the horrible things he does. Using the same kinds of ways of paying attention. He just kind of out with different results, you know. I mean, it is the case that in the world there is a dark side and a light side to things. The dark side is born of fear and anger and pain, and the side of good is born of justice. Particularly me in an apocalypse, if I didn't take shit from anyone, everyone bowed down to me. I don't take a lot of shit from people, but I don't want anyone to bow down to me. And that would be a fundamental difference between that character and me, apparently. Is one presumes if one has managed to get things so that people bow down to you, that you have managed to make that happen in some extent, that you want that to happen in some extent. Yeah, look. My position on things is it's she's bound under treason. Okay, so that's the sort of ridiculous rhyming thing that ENTPs usually say. Just for the record. That's an ENTP joke. It's not even a joke. It's just like just to let you know. That doesn't mean you're an ENTP, but that that smells like any dominant. Could be ENFP, could be ENTP, maybe. I don't know. I'm not typing you. I'm just saying that particular behavior is exactly the sort of thing I might say, or at least think, might or may not get it out of my mouth, you know? Where's my Hugh Hefner jacket? Yeah, I'm lacking in it. This is one of the areas of being an ENTP that I'm kind of lagging behind in. The whole look and swag thing. So it's hard and fiddly to word. It's hard and fiddly to word. I like that. I'm plugging this bowl in this stream. And I've already discussed that Rachel's in bed. She's got some took her medicine, and so I said, okay, let's see here. All right, Rachel, I'm thinking about going out there and turning in the live stream, but not working on anymore on the Mother's Day thing right now, because I'm thinking about coming in and taking a bath and coming and having sexual intercourse. Are you down? Or is like, what are you anticipating? Like, are you gonna go sleep right now? That kind of thing. Because sometimes you need to know. You can't just sort of let it happen naturally, because you need to know, right, the timing of things. Oh, Kitty wants it. Okay, Kitty. Kitty's knocking. Yeah, after I went in there to poop, I had a great poop. And then I was done my poop. And then on my way back out here, I passed through the master bedroom. And it's like, she was in bed. And I was like, Right, she's getting into bed right now. I wonder if, how wakeful she is. You know, like if I go out there and end this pretty quick and, fuck a bowl or whatever, and then go and take a bath, and will she still be awake and wanting to have sex, or does she? Maybe she doesn't already. Maybe she already knows she doesn't want to have sex. I don't know. So anyway, I got an answer in the affirmative, so I'm gonna wrap this up, and I mean it makes most possibility to be bad at typing when you at least include skills tests that people can't fake shit on. Yeah, I'm gonna bath first. Right. I'm gonna take a bath. Get a little SI going. Gonna get my SI on. Gonna get my bath water all warm. Get myself clean with soaps. I'm going to say, and right. And then I'm gonna get out of the bag and dry myself off. I'm not gonna bother putting on any clothes. I'm gonna leave them right off there. Get into that bed and be like, hello there, lady. Ooh, la. And she'll be like, you're so funny. That's how it's gonna go down. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.